on, what's happened so far. Oh no, oh my gosh, guys. I think we kind of lost connection with YouTube. I think like we kind of lost connection on YouTube, so we're back live again. I apologize for what happened. So I hope, for our audience on YouTube, you haven't lost me yet. All right. So I hope you guys are still here with me. All right. So I think we had a bit of reflection time, like with our audience earlier, right? Where maybe it's like the lack of guidance, lack of self confidence. So I just want to tell you, right? Like before we go any further, I want to set your expectations right. So this is the agenda for today's masterclass. So we're going to talk about common drawing mistakes, right? Next, we're going to talk about basic drawing foundations. And then we're going to talk about how to create artworks like pro manga artists. All right. So this is a value packed masterclass. So please turn off all distractions. Okay. So, guys, we're going to be talking for maybe like another 60 minutes. So I hope you can give me your full undivided attention. So, guys, we've actually talked to a lot of aspiring anime and manga artists, like probably thousands by this time. And a lot of them actually tell us that they feel lost, right? They don't know where to start, they don't know what they need to do in order to improve. Some of them also tell us that they feel insecure, right? They feel like they're not good enough. They feel frustrated because they can't express what they want in their drawings, right? So, guys, by the way, as I read these out loud, please, if you can relate to them, please type "I can relate" in the chat section, okay? As I read them out loud. A lot of aspiring anime and manga artists also tell us that they lack motivation, right? They tell us that they can't stay consistent, right? They tell us that they're too busy, right? Like what was said earlier, okay, it's because of school. I can't do it because of school. Um, some of them also tell us that they lack support. They don't have artsy friends to share their artworks and their passion with. Sometimes the people closest to them, right? Their family, their friends actually tell them that there's no career in drawing. Why bother? It's a waste of time. It's a waste of paper. So even though they love drawing, they love anime art, right? This is their passion. They don't feel motivated to do it anymore, right? Because everyone around them tell them that it's useless. It's a waste of time. So again, guys, if you can relate to any of these, please let me know in the chat. And I see Jan Jefferson already said that he can relate, right? All right. So Jan asked, is this being shared on Facebook too? Yes, Jan, actually, it's being shared on both YouTube and on Facebook. Okay. So Jennifer said, what's holding me back? I've got the job and helping my mom with the bills. Okay. So basically like other responsibilities, right? So I think, that's the reality that, well, if you think about it practically though, of course, like we can't just give up all everything that we do, right? Just for this. So I think like the challenge is like how to balance, right? How do you incorporate art into your life, knowing that this is something that you love and something that you are passionate about, right? Okay, so Jessie said, I feel the same way the others are going through. Okay, thank you so much for sharing, Jessie. Right, so again, for Jennifer, for Jessie, if you guys can relate to these, like please let me know in the chat section as well. So guys, again, if you felt this way, I also want you to think about how long you've actually been feeling this way. How long have you felt lost? Have you felt stuck, insecure, frustrated about your art? How long have you struggled with the lack of motivation and the lack of support? Right? And Jesse is saying right now, I can relate to them all. Wow. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing, Jesse. And I mean, I just want to tell you that you're definitely not alone, right? Like, again, we have talked to like hundreds, thousands of aspiring anime and manga artists, and they tell us that they can relate to all of these, right? Jan, in the our YouTube live stream right now also said he can actually also relate. So guys, today's masterclass isn't just about learning how to draw. Of course, we'll teach you about that too. Today's masterclass is about empowering you as an aspiring anime and manga artist, okay? We want you to feel more confident in your art. We want you to learn to express your ideas better. We want you to feel supported about something that makes you happy. And of course, we want you to enjoy your art journey. So settle in and stick around if you're a beginner anime and manga artist who feels like you're not getting any better and finally want to become more confident and proud of your art. Settle in and stick around if you had to give up your anime and manga art when you were younger and finally feel like this is the right time to explore your passion and artistic talent. Settle in and stick around if you struggle to stay consistent and motivated with your art and want to improve faster with the support of mentors and a community of like-minded individuals. Okay? So guys, you can leave the masterclass now if you're only going to listen, but don't take action afterwards. I mean, if you know that you're not going to do anything after this masterclass, I already know what's going to happen. Absolutely nothing. Even if we give you all the art techniques, all the secrets in the world, if you do not practice, if you do not apply it, then nothing will happen to you, okay? You can leave the masterclass now if you think you can learn and do everything by yourself through YouTube videos. So if you have this type of mindset, then you don't need us. Right? You can do it by yourself. So, you don't have to waste any time with us anymore. You can leave the masterclass now if you're not willing to commit and put an effort to practice and make time for your art. So guys, let's get this straight, right? It takes time, it takes effort, it takes perseverance, determination to actually become better at your art. You're like, what a lot of people say is, I don't have enough time. The thing is, it's not true, right? Because if you compare yourself to the other great artists out there that you follow on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook, on YouTube, right? You all have the same 24 hours in a day, correct? But what sets them apart is because they choose to practice. They choose to practice instead of binging Netflix. They choose to practice instead of just being lazy and just binging YouTube videos, right? It's a choice. So you have to choose to practice. You have to choose to invest your time in this, knowing that this is how you want to grow, right? As an artist, as a person. And you can leave the masterclass now if you give up easily when things don't go your way. We are doing this because we want to help you. But it's not going to be all rainbows and butterflies. The struggles that we talked about earlier, right? Like feeling insecure, feeling demotivated, struggling with your art. Those are going to come up again, right? It doesn't go away like magic, all right, guys? So we want to work with artists that are ready to overcome that struggles with us, okay? So guys, for those of you that are still here with me in this masterclass, I just want to say congratulations. Please drop the clapping emoji in the chat section, okay? So I know who's still here with me right now because I want to acknowledge you. I want to celebrate your decision to stay in this masterclass. Let's all celebrate together, guys. You choosing to stay with me in this masterclass tells me that you are ready to take action, right? You are ready to transform your anime and manga art journey. You're telling me that you don't want to stay stuck. You don't want to stay lost. You don't want to stay, in the same situation, feeling insecure about your art, Right, so guys, again, oh yes, I see the clapping emoji from Ikram from Jehuku. Yes, guys, I see Jennifer dropping that clapping emoji. Dean dropping that clapping emoji. Do I still have Jesse in the house? Right, special mention to Jesse. All right. So what about Jan? Jan Jefferson, if you're still here with us, right, make sure to drop that clapping emoji because again, guys, I want to celebrate all together. Okay. So guys, please stay until the end for our Q&A, and I'll also reveal how you can work with pro-Japanese manga and anime artists, right, at the end of this masterclass. Very exciting, right? So before we dive into the juiciest bits, here's a little info about us and why we're doing this masterclass. So hi guys, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Trisha, and I'm actually the owner of Learn to Draw Manga and also an online art brand called Artillery Philippines. So just like you, I love anime and manga. Because of my passion, I actually came to Japan in 2013 and have been living here since. So again, guys, I mentioned it earlier, right? I'm actually hosting this from Tokyo. So good evening from Tokyo, Japan. So when I came to Japan, I actually saw so many opportunities for aspiring anime and manga artists here. And, like one of the things that I was like really jealous of was actually the opportunities to learn how to draw manga. Right. So here in Japan, there are a lot of vocational schools where you can study at a technical college for 2 to 4 years, and you can learn to draw manga from professionals. You can also take casual manga classes, and these are for kids, these are for working professionals who want to learn as a hobby. And, when I was younger, I loved anime, I loved manga, and I loved drawing. But there was just no resources to learn how to draw manga, especially during those times, right? YouTube did not exist, so it was very, very limited. And, I thought it was so unfair. After I came here to Japan, I was like, oh my God, just because I'm not from Japan, I don't have this kind of opportunity. So I wanted to bring this opportunity to you. We believe you deserve this opportunity to learn how to draw manga, just like how your favorite pro manga artists do it. If you believe you deserve this, please type "I deserve this" in the chat section. Again, guys, if you believe you deserve this, please type "I deserve this" in the chat. Say it loud, say it proud, all right? And again, like you want to manifest this for yourself. I'm a true believer of the power of manifestation. The more words of affirmation you say out loud, the more likely the universe is going to conspire in your favor to make this a reality. Okay, so say it loud, say it proud. I deserve this. Yes, okay, so I see Johuku saying, I deserve this. Absolutely, Johuku, you deserve this. Okay. So do I see? Yes. Okay. I see Dean. Dean says, I deserve this. Jennifer says, I deserve it. All right. That's great. Okay. Do we have Jesse? Yes. Jesse, please let me know as well if you think you deserve this. Okay. Chanel says, I deserve it. Yes, Chanel. That's awesome. Okay. I also see Ikram saying, I deserve this. All right. Great. Do I see Nazrawi? Nazrawi, are you still in the house? Like, drop that "I deserve this" in the chat. Okay. All right, guys. So, like, you definitely deserve this. Let me just affirm you. Definitely, even if we're not in Japan, we definitely deserve this opportunity. And we've actually thought about, okay, like how do we bring this to more people, right? Like even if you're not in Japan, how do we bring this to you? And we've thought about like different things. And with the typical school setup, if you started a school, like there's actually just too much logistics, right? If you went to like a Japanese manga school here in Japan, you'd have to fly to Japan, you'd have to learn Japanese, you'd have to uproot your whole life basically. And it could be quite expensive, right? So In total, if you came to Japan to study at a manga school here, it would actually cost you a total of about 72, right? About like 73K, right? US dollars, just to be able to do this. And I know that not everyone has this kind of money, right? And not everyone wants to uproot their whole life for it. So I wanted to make learning how to draw manga more accessible and affordable to aspiring anime and manga artists around the world. That's why we're doing all of this right now. So we at Learn to Draw Manga want to empower each and every one of you so you can experience how your favorite manga artist draws. You can unleash your true artistic potential and better express your ideas, creativity, and emotions through your drawings. You can feel more confident and fulfilled through your anime and manga art. Even if you don't end up pursuing this as a career, we still want to give you the opportunity to simply have fun, enjoy, and maybe even live your dream. So guys, in line with this mission, we actually started an anime and manga character drawing course. We started this in 2021. The results were just amazing. We've actually worked with over 200 anime and manga artists already. So this is what our student Raven said. So she actually joined us like earlier this year. And these are like her artworks after just about like a month of joining. Raven said, "I drew the most beautiful man I've ever drawn today. I know he needs some tweaks, but I'm so happy with him." So just to give a bit of a background, Raven actually felt very insecure drawing kind of like muscular men. So she was so happy that she was finally able to do this when she joined our course. This one is what our student Maria said. So she actually posted this earlier this month. "This class has made such a difference for me. I tried mermaid last year and got to sketch one day's worth and got disappointed in what I produced that I didn't even finish it. Now, I know how to make the anatomy look believable and really have the confidence to do it. Thank you for teaching me so much." And, like Maria has been with us for only about like 4 months actually, right? And now she feels super confident about her artworks. This was done by our student Sabrina. And before she joined, she was actually only copying, other people's artwork. And this artwork on the left in January was the very first time she actually drew her own original art. And what she made in April is like miles, like decades. It's like an amazing transformation. So Sabrina said, "What stopped me before was the fear of failure and of making something I would not be satisfied of or proud of. What helped me achieve this now is definitely this amazing course. The feedback of the mentors and the support of my classmates are always uplifting." Right, so this is actually Sabrina's original character design, by the way. So, from just copying other people's artwork, she was finally able to create her own original characters. This one was from our student Ginny. So when Ginny joined us, she could only draw half-body characters, like what you see here. And after one afternoon session with us, she was finally able to draw full-body characters. And this is what she said. "I immediately redrew my homework to see the difference after attending class, and wow, I felt way more confident and inspired to draw after learning the human body proportions. I can finally draw full body characters, not just headshots. Thank you to my great class friends and mentors." All right, and that was when Ginny started with us. She actually started with us in January 2022. And you can see how much she was able to progress in our class. She was able to learn how to draw full body characters. She was able to gain confidence in doing dynamic poses. And now she can actually create like full render illustrations like this and also create her own original characters. So yeah, this is a little bit over a year of like working with us. This is an 8-month progress by our student Cheryl. And she was actually on a 20-year art hiatus when she joined our course. And she joined back in November 2021. And you can see how much she was able to improve in just 8 months. So now Cheryl has actually her own YouTube channel. She has her own like Facebook art group. And now she's actually in another program for, creating her first original manga. All right. So, guys, are you ready to do the same? Give me a ready in the chat if you want to get the same results as our students. Again, guys, if you want to get the same results, please give me a ready in the chat. And I see Jessie and Jennifer's reactions in the chat section. I see that you guys are very surprised, happily surprised, I hope. And I see Dilek Madi also joining us. I hope I pronounce your name right, Dilek. Yes, so thank you so much for joining us. Okay, so again, guys, if you want the same results, please type ready in the chat. Yeah, so I see Jessie. Okay, Jessie is ready. Ikram is ready. Okay. Jennifer says, I'm ready. Okay, very, very exciting. Okay, what about Jehuku? Yes, okay, there we go. Jehuku says, ready. Dilek is also ready. Ooh, amazing. Okay, if we still have Jan in the house, let me know, Jan. If like Jaeger and our earlier viewers are still here as well, please let me know in the chat. Okay, Dean is also ready. That's awesome. So guys, by having the right guidance at your fingertips, imagine where you could be in 1 year, right? Consider this your fast pass. So guys, first, let's talk about common drawing mistakes, right? And this is probably the reason why you feel stuck. Mistake number 1, mindless copying. So a lot of us, we start off by copying, right? And it's fine at the beginning. Usually like the origin story is that, we watch anime or we read manga, we have our favorite characters, and then we draw them, right? Because we love them so much. We want to put them on paper. And, we feel so excited. Oh my gosh, I was able to draw my favorite character. And, like, it's nice, right? Like, we feel excited, we feel motivated. But at some point, we realize we can only copy, right? We can't do anything else if there's nothing to copy from. And, this is related to mistake number 2. The reason why we cannot move forward from copying is because we underestimate the basics, okay? We want our drawings to be perfect, flawless, IG worthy, and we want it now, right? We want it instant. The thing is, before you can start running, you need to know how to walk and crawl first. Before you can create a masterpiece, you need to know the basics first, okay? So guys, we need to learn the building blocks, right, of how to draw. We need to learn the art fundamentals if we truly want to become better, right? What are the basic shapes that make up the human body parts, right? We need to understand our guidelines, proper proportions. But the thing is, this is boring, right? Like, I have to admit it myself. I skip the basics because I'm like, nah, you know what? I want to make something really nice. And if I just keep copying, it's nice right away. But the thing is, like, we can never become better, right? If we keep running away from this. And you know what they say? It takes 10,000 hours to master a skill. So guys, how many hours have you dedicated? And again, it's all about the basics. So this is actually what our student Ray said. It's amazing when you start out with just lines, squares, circles, and then almost like magic, you're able to eventually draw a hand. All right, so next, let's talk about mistake number 3. Avoiding guidelines and references because we think it would make us a weak artist, right? So this is actually a very common misconception, right? So let me just make this very clear. Great artists know the basics. They use shapes, they use guidelines, and they also use reference photos all the time. Take it from me. I'm the founder. And I've actually worked as a graphic designer and illustrator at a gaming company here in Japan. So everyone had an extra monitor just to look at reference photos. Some people would even take a picture of their own body parts just to make sure that their artworks were accurate. So, guys, let me get this straight. Copying and referencing are not the same, okay? When you copy, the goal of copying is that you want your output to look as close to the original as possible, right? When you reference, you use the original image as a guide to make your artwork look accurate. So, for example, let's say you want to draw a sword and you've never seen a sword in real life. So, what do? Do you just like imagine a sword from thin air? No, right? You Google what a sword actually looks like, right? So that's what it means to reference. Like, you don't have to draw it like exactly like how you see it in the photo. So again, guys, don't feel bad if you cannot draw without reference photos. Google as much as you can. But again, you want to reference, don't copy. Like, that's definitely the next step. But then, like a lot of us actually fall into mistake number 4. Running away, right? So what do I mean by this? What's running away? So guys, are you guilty of any of these? As I read them out loud, and you find yourself guilty, please let me know in the chat, okay? I don't know how to draw hands, so I have my characters hide them, right? In the pocket, behind their back. I'm not confident drawing full body characters, so I just do half body characters or headshots. I draw my characters in the exact same angle about 80% of the time. I have a hard time drawing the second eye, so I put long bangs or add shadows to avoid it. I'm scared of destroying my sketch, so I don't ink them. So again, guys, if you're guilty of any of these, please let me know in the chat. And I'll be the first to admit, I'm guilty of everything, right? I have done all of these, guys. I've done all these shortcuts and even more. When it comes to running away and making drawings easier, I've come up with so many creative solutions to not feel the pain. So I see Dilek said yes. Okay, Dean said guilty of most. All right, Jennifer also says I'm guilty. Okay, so guys, again, you're not alone, okay? Ikram also said, I don't ink my art, okay? All right, Johuku said, I am guilty. I've mainly done just head sketches so far. Okay, what about Jessie, right? I'm a little bit curious about Jessie. Yes, LOL. Okay, guys, so there's quite a few of us here, right? We're guilty. And don't worry, you are not alone. As you can see here, a lot of us are guilty of everything that's listed here. And the thing is, I'm not bringing this up to guilt trip you. I'm doing this because we have to understand what the problem is first before we can find a solution, right? All of these is part of what's holding us back, right? It makes it easier, but actually it'll come back to bite us in the end. We try to hide our weaknesses instead of facing them head on. It's not fun because it's hard. It's frustrating because we can't get it right. But don't worry, because we are here to help you. And it doesn't have to be a hard journey, right? You don't have to do it alone. So this is what our student Bianca actually said. This was a rather new experience, and I'm still guessing the forms from stock photo references. So we actually did like an activity where we would draw hands from stock photos. And Bianca said, I do hope they look like male hands. It's difficult, and I think I'm going to take it slow. It's been fun to learn alongside with you. Should I have been alone in this, I wouldn't get the motivation. All right. And I see, a couple of people have come back to join us. Hi, Jaeger. Hi, Mystique. All right, so guys, next, let's talk about basic drawing foundations. And again, we cannot skip this, right? This is like the secret sauce as to how we become better artists. So, number 1, let's talk about drawing full body characters, because I know that a lot of us probably struggle with this. The secret is to start with your basic shapes, right? So I just want to remind you that the human body is made up of spheres, cylinders, and cubes, right? You want to start from simpler forms and then flesh out the details. It would be easier and less intimidating to draw full body characters if you know your building blocks, right? So I think a lot of beginners feel like, I don't want to draw these out. Like, it'll slow me down. I just want to skip the exciting part. But the thing is, if you actually learn how to do this, it'll make your life so much easier. And this is what our student Raven said. Something surprising to me was the fact that doing the shapes for the anatomy actually makes me draw faster and more accurately than just drawing straight out. You'd think that I'd take more time and effort, but it really speeds things along for me, right? So again, guys, that's our student Raven already telling you that it'll make your lives faster. And then Ginny said, right, I saw major improvements since I learned about proportions, especially when it comes to creating characters from scratch. Before, I could only draw half body. Now I can make difficult poses and I feel more confident. I learned a lot about certain guides on how to draw the body. It helps a lot that I can see how the mentors do it live, and I get feedback on my homeworks so I know where to improve. It's also helpful to have very engaging classmates. All right. So next, drawing faces. So here's a very quick guide as to how you can draw a well-balanced anime face. All right. So when you want to draw a face, like the two shapes that you want to get started with is the circle and then a cross. Okay, so this horizontal line right here, this is actually the guide for where your ears start and where your eyes also start, right? So try to feel your face right now. Like, you'll realize that the start of your ears is actually aligned with your eyes, right? So guys, feel your faces, you'll realize it. So here, again, like to create a well-balanced face. So your eyes, right, like is going to be about like 1/3 the size of, the width of your face. And if you actually put another eye, like a third eye here in between, you can actually fit one, right? So if you cannot fit a third eye here, that means your eyes are too close together, right? If there's too much space, that means they're too wide apart, right? So that's how you can try to balance like the spacing between the eyes, the third eye in the middle. And then here from the top of your head, right, like to the start of your eyes, this is like 1/2 of your whole head. From your eyes to your nose, this is 1/4. From your nose to your mouth, this is 1/8. And then from your mouth to your chin, this is another 1/8. All right. And again, just to remind you, this is just a basic guide. So you can still change this up depending on the character, right? Like, who is this character, right? Is this the main character? Is this character old? Is this character young? Is this character the bad guy, right? So depending on who your character is, you can change up the proportions. And you'll actually realize that, there are some kind of like faces for bad guys. When you see someone, it's like, I bet this is the bad guy, right? So there are actually like stereotypical faces for different characters in a story. So I think, like that would help, communicate like who your character is just by using, like changing their faces. And I think like the challenge as well is, being able to create the same character with different expressions, right? Like, will it still look like the same character, right? Can you draw the same character at a different angle? And if you want to create your own manga in the future, right, then this is something that you have to know. Right. So I think like if you haven't tried drawing the same character and again, then, you can try that out, as practice. So next, let's talk about drawing hands. Okay. And I know hands is like one of the hardest body parts to draw. So here's a very easy guide, right? Like very easy breakdown. And you want to remember to break everything down into simple shapes. And please remember that your fingers are actually divided into 3 parts, right? So you kind of want to emphasize the curve so you can avoid like sausage fingers, right? So here, you can draw like a trapezoid here to represent your palm, and then you can draw a triangle here to represent majority of your thumb, right? Draw circles to represent your knuckles, and then, like elongated elongated sausages here, and then you split it into like three parts. So if this is a little bit complicated, you can try out this simplified version on the right. So you can draw like a pentagon here to represent your palm, right? And then a triangle here to represent majority of your thumb. You can draw lines here to kind of help guide you as to where your fingers are going to end. And then draw elongated trapezoids, flesh out the curves, and then add more details, okay? All right. So I see that you guys have a couple of comments, and I will get back to you guys in a little bit, right? So Mystique is saying, "Oh yeah, hands are hard." Juhuku said, "Hands, the bane of my artist existence." Yes, absolutely. Mystique said, "Usually my fingers get long." Okay, guys. I mean, it takes practice, right? It takes quite a bit of practice, and this is what our student Nat actually said, and I think this might also help you out. I think it helps a lot learning perspective, enjoying difficult angles by using boxes or cylinders. Getting into the habit of breaking things down into simple shapes first, like what our mentor teaches us, really helps a lot, not only in drawing hands, but in drawing almost anything, okay? So here, Alexa also said, "Before attending the session, I found it really hard to draw hands and feet. This used to take so much of my time, and because it was difficult, I would end up just hiding them. But after learning the basics, I realized that it was fun but also challenging. I'm very thankful and glad that I joined this drawing course. I'm looking forward to other sessions." All right. Okay. So yeah, I see a lot of people sharing in the comments that hands are quite difficult. I understand, guys, So let's break it down into simple shapes. So, it's going to be a bit easier for us. Sorry, Dilek ask, "How do match your easy white the face?" I'm sorry, Dilek, I'm a little bit confused with your question. Can you retype it again? Maybe check your grammar and the words. I'm not sure if you like accidentally typed the wrong thing. I'm a little bit confused with this question. So can you try again? And I'll see if I'll understand you the second time around. I apologize for that. All right. So next, guys, we've talked about how to draw from the basic foundations. So next, let's find out, what are the secrets to drawing like a pro manga artist? So professional manga artists actually use dip pens for their artworks. You don't know what a dip pen is? This is a dip pen. Okay. It's called a dip pen because you dip it in ink. All right. It's also called a nib pen. Why? Because this metal tip right here, this is called a nib. So if ever you hear the word nib pen, dip pen, they're actually referring to the same thing, okay? So your dip pens are different from your tech pens like Unipin or Sakura Pigma or Copic multiliners. How? Right? So tech pens or micron pens, they create consistent lines. If you want to create a thicker line, then you have to switch around, right? That's why there's so many sizes. There's 0.1, 0.3, 0.5, 0.8, 1.0. So it's really meant, for different widths. But when you draw with dip pens, you can actually control one nib to create different weight variations. All right. So if you want to create a thicker line, just put more pressure on your nib. If you want to create a thinner line, then you put less pressure on your nib. Right. So here, you can see as an example right here, right? So this was done by the same nib pen. So if you push down a little bit more, then you get this like thicker line. And then if you push down less, you get this thinner line. So you can just imagine, if you're a manga artist and you have to keep drawing manga every day. And, to make it interesting because it's black and white, you really have to play around with like the different line weights. And if you do it with multi-liners, then it's so time consuming. But if you do it with dip pens, then all you need to do is just control the pressure, right? So you can actually save so much more time. So guys, I just want to clarify. dip pens and fountain pens are not the same. So we actually get a lot of beginners that accidentally buy fountain pens because they didn't know they were different. So the biggest difference is the flexibility of the tip. So for dip pens, the tip, this nib right here, this is flexible. And this is really meant for drawing, maybe even like calligraphy. But for fountain pens, the tip is usually not flexible and it's really meant for writing. There are some fountain pens out there that's made for manga art, right? So they have like flexible tips, but most common fountain pens actually don't have this flexibility. So you really have to be careful with what you're getting. And yeah, we highly recommend getting the dip pen though. Yeah, instead of like a custom fountain pen, just get a dip pen. So you won't go wrong with a dip pen. And you might think, my gosh, like it's hard to learn. That looks really intimidating. I've never used that before. And I can understand why you'd think that way. But I'm here to tell you, it's actually not that hard to learn. Here's an artwork by our student, Chrysandria. And it was actually her first time to use a dip pen. And it only took her about 3 hours to actually create this. And let's just take a moment to admire her artwork, right? You can see that she was actually able to play around with like the thin and thick lines, right? So here, for example, let's analyze this artwork, like this one on the left. This deku artwork. So you'll notice that she actually used thicker outlines, right? Like here for the outline of the character, she used thicker lines. And then for the details, she actually used thinner lines. So, it helps, the character pop out, like from this artwork. So that's how playing around with your line variations can actually help you create very interesting line art, even though you haven't colored it in. So this one was done by our student Moreska, and he had actually only been using dip pens for 1 month when he made this. And you can actually see that he even played around with some hatching techniques. So here around the eye area, you could see it's not like a sudden, black to white. There's like a bit of a gradation there. So he actually used hatching techniques to create this effect. And again, it only took him like a month to be able to do this. This one was done by our student Katharina, and she had only been using dip pens for 2 to 3 months when she made this. And the thing was, Katharina actually bought a dip pen a year before joining our course. But what happened? That dip pen got stuck in her drawer because she didn't know how to use them. She only learned how to use them properly in our course. And finally, she was able to make something like this in just 2 to 3 months. This was done by our student Echo Dips. He had been using dip pens for only 2 months, and he was already using it to create his own original manga, manga pages. So guys, let's be real. Any medium takes time and effort to master, correct? So it's the same with dip pens. You have to practice to get better. Yes, it can be challenging, but with the right guidance, you can definitely learn faster. And you've already seen it with our students, right? Like just first time to draw with dip pens, 1 month, 2 months, and they've already made such amazing progress. So guys, we want to empower more aspiring anime and manga artists like you. And we've been working with our students through our anime and manga character drawing course these past few months. Actually, it's already been like over a year for some of them. And here's what they've actually had to say. So our student Raven, she joined us earlier in January, and this is what she said. I could tell these were people I could trust to look at my art and help me go forward without me feeling embarrassed or looked down upon. So I decided to take a leap. Best decision ever. Within the first 2 classes, my husband was already telling me how he noticed a difference in my work and it was getting so much better. Just seeing how the sensei draw firsthand was a game changer. All right. This one was from our student Pauline. She said, the course had helped me a lot correct some of the art problems that I had a hard time overcoming before. The biggest factor for my improvement was the guidance that the mentors provided. They were kind enough to simplify the concepts and teach things in a step-by-step manner. They also make the lessons less intimidating and find ways to make it fun. There are not many courses out there that teaches anime and manga art. That's why this is a highly recommended course to any aspiring manga/comic artist out there. So this is what our student Maria said. Before, I felt like I didn't have these skills to get what was in my head on paper because I didn't know where or how to start. With all the anatomy and learning basics, with all the anatomy and learning basics has helped a lot. Then also drawing every week with peers has been amazing. I love all aspects of this class. All right. So, guys, I have a question for you. You're here because you want to learn how to draw anime characters, correct? You want to improve your art and feel more confident, correct? So, guys, would you rather do it yourself or would you rather have a proven path to success? You've seen our students' results. You've read how happy they are with the community and guidance from our mentors. So the question is, do you want in too? If you want in, please type "I want in" the chat section. Okay? Again, guys, if you want in, please type "I want in" the chat. Okay. All right. See, so I'm looking at the chat, by the way. I'm just like checking out what people have been saying in the chat section right now. Someone said ball pen or fountain pen. Okay. So guys, again, ball pens and fountain pens are totally different from dip pens. So, I suggest like you experience how to use dip pens yourself. Okay. So there I see Dean. Okay, Dean says, I want in. Jennifer wants in. Ooh, very exciting. Okay, so what about Jessie? What about Mystique? What about Jaeger, Nazrawi, right? Johuku. So, if Ikram is still here, let me know as well. All right, so Chanel wants in, Dilek wants in. Okay, great guys. So how about our YouTube viewers? Who wants in? Let me know in the chat. Okay, Johuku wants in. Awesome, that's great to hear. All right, so Jesse, if you're also with us, let us know if you're in. Okay. So guys, if you want to make your time doing art more meaningful and more productive, then our anime and manga character drawing course membership is for you. We are on a mission to accelerate your growth all while having fun learning together. You will have amazing mentors to guide you. So our first mentor is actually, his name is Steph. If you guys follow us on our YouTube channel, you might have seen some of his artworks and his interview video already. So Steph actually specializes in modern shonen artworks, and these are some samples of his works. So he'll teach us how to draw like him, how to create these amazing dynamic poses. He also uses dip pens in his line art. So he'll teach us how to draw with dip pens. Our second mentor is actually a professional Japanese manga artist. Her name is Nao Yazawa, and she is the illustrator of these 90s anime called Wedding Peach. So she's actually also created her own manga, how to draw manga book. She's published her own artwork. She's worked with publishers in Japan. She's been in the industry for 30 years. So she's going to be, teaching us her tips, her techniques, her secrets. And the great thing about it is, she can speak English, right? Like Steph can speak English, Yazawa sensei can speak English. So you guys can actually communicate with them directly. Our third mentor is also a professional Japanese manga artist. Her name is Rena Saya. And, she's also like done her own original title. She's worked with publishers. She's also self-published her own works. And she also teaches at a manga school in Tokyo. And of course, she also speaks English. So guys, you will have lifetime access to weekly Zoom sessions with these amazing artists, and they will guide you through everything that you need to know. So, in our course, you will be learning basic drawing foundations, how to draw with dip pens, and how to color with Copic markers. And Copic markers is actually what professional manga artists use to create colored illustrations. So at the end of our course, you will know how to create your own original characters, and you'll also learn how to create characters for a client or for a friend or for someone you know. So, guys, you will get lifetime access to self-paced training videos with worksheets and templates. You'll get access to a Facebook group and an amazing community of artists. We will also have weekly Zoom lives where we will answer your questions, critique your output, give you feedback. Right now, our schedule for these weekly Zoom sessions is every Friday at 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. EST. Right? So right now, we have a lot of people from the US, so it's optimized for US people. But in case, we get more people from around the world, we will also be opening new slots to also, make it easier for people in a different time zone to attend the critiquing sessions. You will also get monthly accountability sessions with your student success coach, right? So you will have a coach with you. So in case, you feel like giving up, you're confused, you don't know what to do, they will be there to guide you through it. Because, we acknowledge that this journey to become a better artist isn't just about technical skill, right? There's a lot of emotional baggage that comes along with it. So that's why, we have someone to coach you through all those, insecurities that you have. All right. So guys, in case you cannot join the live, don't worry, because you can actually send in your questions and your artworks for critiquing beforehand. And you will have lifetime access to all the replays, all the PDF guides. So, as long as you send in your questions and your artworks for critiquing by the deadline, even if you just watch the replay, you'll still see your questions being answered and your artworks being critiqued. Okay, so guys, the thing is, we're not just taking in anyone. We believe the better the fit, the better the results. So we want to work with aspiring anime and manga artists who want to be empowered. Want in? Here's how the process works. This is for you if you're a beginner anime and manga artist who feels lost and stuck and finally wants to become more confident and proud of your art. This is for you if you want to stop copying and finally create your own original characters and artworks so you can express your original ideas, creativity, and feelings. This is for you if you want to explore your artistic talent and gain more skill and techniques so you can give your art to other people and maybe even take on commissions in the future. So guys, if this sounds like you, we want to invite you to apply to become a member of our anime and character drawing course. We are starting June 19, right? We are opening for a new batch of students and we are going to be launching on June 19th. The thing is, we will only take in serious applicants. So guys, if you're serious about your anime art journey, you want to transform, your journey so far, then this is it. The moment of truth, right? You are still here with me right now in this masterclass because I believe, right? You want to change, right? Your current situation, right? We are doing this because we want to empower you, right? But will you empower yourself today, right? I believe you're still here with me right now because you are ready to make a commitment to your art, right? That's what you told me earlier, right? You are ready to get the same results as our students. You said you deserve this opportunity. And you said you want in the guidance and the community. So this is it. The ball is in your court. Will you take action today? Or will you stay stuck in the exact same situation that you came into this masterclass with, right? Struggling with your art for months, for years, for decades. So, guys, all you have to do to transform your art journey is to actually click the link in the pinned comment section, right? So, guys, we have sent a link to apply to our course. And I will show you what happens, right? So when you click this link, you will actually be redirected to a form, right? So this is a form that you have to fill out. And, like this is actually a form so you can book a call with us. So again, guys, we don't just take in anyone. So we want to make sure that we can help you. We want to make sure that you're going to be a good fit for our course. So, after you've filled in this form, we're going to hop on a call and we're going to get to know each other more. Okay. So I think some people are actually very nervous about the call. And I just want to reassure you guys that there's nothing to be scared about. It's a get to know you call, right? We want to learn more about you, your art journey so far, as well as your goals. Okay. So if I see that we can help you, and you also want to join us and you want to join the community, then we can decide if we want to move forward and work together. All right. So I think it's best, if we understand, if we know a little bit about each other first before, we make a long-term commitment. All right. So guys, what will you be tomorrow if you start today? Take the leap, right? And I think you saw what our students were able to do, right? After a year in our course, after just like a couple of months, like 8 months, 3 months, like 1 month, even 1 day in our course, right? Imagine if that were you. So guys, now I am opening the floor for our Q&A. So if ever you have any questions or concerns about our course, about what we just discussed so far, please let me know in the comments and I would be very happy to help you out. All right? So if ever you're already like answering the form, let me know as well in the chat. For those of you that are excited to get started, let me know, right? If ever there's something that's holding you back, let me know as well, right? Like what's holding you back, guys? Like what kind of information do you need so you can finally take that leap? And guys, I also want to say, right? Like what have you got to lose? Like I think like that's the thing. Sometimes we talked to a lot of people, they're like super scared. Oh no, I'm nervous, maybe I'm not good enough. And the thing is, like this is for beginners, right? And we have worked with people that like don't know how to draw full body characters. All they could do is just headshots. Some people don't even know how to draw at all. So, we've worked with like total beginners. So I think, if you're scared, I think that's actually a good sign, right? That means you're doing something new, right? You're not in your comfort zone. And that's how you grow, right? So you just got to overcome that, take that first step, give you that extra push. I want to give you that extra push. Okay, so let me just check like what's happening in the chat. All right. So again, guys, if you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to let me know in the chat section because I would love to answer them. Okay. So Mystic said, I feel like my drawings aren't good enough. So Mystic, if this is how you feel, then we want to work with you. I mean, we want to get to know you more, right? So we want to work with artists that feel like this right now, right? If you feel like I don't feel good enough, I don't feel confident, guys, we are going to work together. So buy a cup, but even just like one session, you're going to feel more confident in yourself, in your art. We're going to transform your journey, right? So Mystic, if this is how you're feeling, like we would love to talk to you more about it and see how we can help. So let me see. And guys, actually, like it's free to apply. Let me just clarify. It's like free to apply. You don't pay anything to like hop on a call with us. So there's definitely like nothing to lose. There's nothing to lose and everything to gain just by trying, right? Okay. So Nastron said, can I apply at any time? Okay, so Nastron, let me ask you this. What's holding you back from applying right now? I'm a little bit curious. I'm a firm believer that, if you want to start something, start today, not tomorrow, right? I think if you want to get stuff done, you want to get it done right away. Yes. So, Nastron, what's holding you back from applying right now? Do you have any questions? Do you have any concerns? If you do, let me know in the chat because I would love to answer them. All right. Mystic said, the only problem is I don't have money. Okay, this is also a great question actually, Mystic. And the thing is, we do actually provide support, right, for the people that do need it, right? But the thing is, we won't know how to help you if you guys don't talk to us, right? We provide support for the people that need it, for the people that want to help themselves, right? We want to help people that help themselves. And again, guys, we won't know how to help you though if you don't tell us what's wrong. So if this is one of your concerns, Mystic, there's still a possibility, right? Like all you need to do is just like fill up the form. And if we see that you're someone that we might want to work with, then we can make things happen for you. Absolutely, right? So we just need to see that dedication. Right. Same as Dilek, right? So Dilek said the same thing. So again, guys, if this is like what's holding you back, I think still, it's free to like apply. It's free to hop on a call. Like it's worth a shot. I think like that's one thing I could say. I mean, if you don't apply now, then that's it, right? Like boom, it's done. At the very least, you actually like tried something before giving up. Right. So Nastron, are you still with me? Right, so Nastron, I asked you earlier, what's holding you back from applying right now? Is there something, do you need more information? Is there something wrong? Are you curious about something? So let me know in the chat so I could help you out. Okay, so do we still have people in the house? Do we still have Jessie in the house, Jennifer in the house? Okay, so let me see. Nastron replied. All right. Okay, what's holding me back is ... I think it got cut off. Yeah, I need more info. Okay, awesome, Nastron. So what kind of info do you need? Right? So let me know in the chat. Like, ask away, right? If you need more info, I feel like I'd be the best person to give you more information. So don't be shy, ask away, and I'd love to give you more information. Okay, so Jaeger said, I don't know if it's my internet, it's just loading the application page. Okay, could be your internet, because like for mine it actually just like the form loaded right away earlier when I clicked the link, so it could be your internet, Jaeger. I'm not very sure. Maybe you could try like a different browser to see if it works for you. That could be something. Mrs. Zenitsu's wife said, what's holding me back is my body proportions. All right, you know what? Actually, this is something that we talk about in our program. And if that's what's holding you back, then that's actually something that we can work with you. Yeah, absolutely. Right? If you're just scared about your technical skill, the thing is, we will help you with your technical skill, right? Like all these issues that you guys are currently, telling me about right now, these are all things that we want to help you with. And I think there's nothing wrong, that you feel this way. I think like the best thing is just to like talk to us about how you're feeling, about what you're struggling with, and we can decide, right? Like if we want to work together. All right. So for Nastron, right, I'm waiting for your questions, Nastron. So I wanna make sure, I can answer all your questions. For Mrs. Zenitsu's wife, for Mrs. Zenitsu's wife as well. So how do you feel about my answer, by the way, right? Like, do you still feel worried? Again, we work with a lot of students that do not know anything about body proportions, that do not know anything about anatomy. And again, I showed you earlier, I don't know if you were here, but I did show earlier the artworks of our student, Ginny, who couldn't even draw full body characters. When Sabrina also joined us, she also couldn't draw full body characters. So, we have helped so many artists actually get over this. So Nastron asked, my drawing supplies are limited. Do you guys provide supplies? Oh, great question, Nastron. Yes, we do. Yes, yes, yes. So actually, guys, if we decide to work together, we will send out art supplies to your address wherever you are in the world, as long as, we can ship to you. So we're going to ship it straight from Japan. We're going to send you your Depend supplies, couple of templates from our mentors, right? So, we got you. Don't worry. So I know you guys were talking about like where to get the Depend. So again, if we decide to work together, we got you covered, right? No matter where you are in the world. So great question, Nastron. All right. So, so once we have like your Depend, we're going to send out your Depend supplies. So what you need to provide for yourself is just, like your paper, your pencil, your eraser, coloring materials. So it's your choice, right? Like what coloring material you'd like to use, as long as you can apply the concepts that we teach you. All right. So Nastron, does that answer your question? Does that answer your concern? Okay. So what about Jesse, right? Like Jesse, are you still here with us? For Jesse, for Jennifer, for Dilek. Dilek, by the way, I believe I answered your question. Did you hear my answer earlier? I am not sure if you were able to hear. I didn't get a reply from you. So let me know, Dilek, were you able to hear my answer to your question earlier? Right. So again, I am just waiting for, like your okay. Zenith's wife said, your answer is great. Why, thank you. Why, thank you. All right. For Nastron as well, does that answer your question? Or do you have any other questions that you'd like to raise? Right? Like feel free to ask all of them right now. So, I can provide you with like the answers. I mean, once we're off of this masterclass, there's no way that you can actually, find those answers somewhere else, right? So I'm the best source of information. Okay. All right. So, we have Jesse. Oh wow, Jesse. Jesse is on our YouTube channel as well. Hi Jesse. Nice to see you. Nice to see you on our YouTube. Awesome, awesome. Okay. So, Nastron asks, another one is, has anyone's work ever been in the animation industry? And yes, that's a great answer. Okay, awesome. Okay. So guys, oops, I apologize. Sorry guys. I touched something. So anyway, for Nastron, so I just want to clarify that our program is actually meant for beginners, okay? So this is for people that, are not confident with your body proportions, you're not confident with, like drawing full body characters. So we take you from beginner to like intermediate/advanced level, right? Like that's where we want to get you. So if you want to, move forward to professional level, that's actually something that we don't offer. Like just to be very honest, right? Like we don't provide that, but we do have a couple of students that have actually started their own art business. So some of them have started taking on commissions, some of them have opened their own art shops selling their own merch, right? So we do provide a bit of support there, but that's not the concentration of this course, right? So just to be very clear. All right. So so for Nastron, may I just ask, right? Like you're asking about the animation industry. May I ask, is your goal to become like an animator, or is your goal to become part of the animation industry? Yeah, so let me know, right? So I can actually provide you with more information. Yeah, but so far, yeah, no one that joined the anime industry, sorry, the animation industry yet. I think most of our students are doing their own commission work. I do know a couple of our students that actually do character design, but I don't think it's for the anime industry. I think they do have clients like for example, they have clients that have their own stories, like they're writers, not artists. So they actually hire our students to draw out their original characters. And yeah, I think it's like a different, combination of commissions and their own merch. And like some of them also create their own stickers. They go to conventions, they sell their artworks, they sell their prints. Yeah, so they've applied it in like different ways. All right. So Zenitsa's wife said, mine is to become an animator. Okay. All right. All right. Awesome, guys. Okay. That's great. Very good to hear. So I think, I just want to clarify for people that want to go into like the animation industry that like we do not specialize in animation, right? We specialize in your drawing skills. Again, like we're gonna take you from beginner level to, like it's up to you like how far you want to go, right? Like beginner to like advanced, intermediate, right? Like that's how far we can get you. But again, in the animation industry, like I do personally know someone in the animation industry, like it's a little bit more complicated than just drawing, to be honest. So again, we don't specialize in that. So that's something that you guys would have to maybe like find other resources if ever. Okay, so Nastron said, yes, my goal is animation slash concept design for games. Okay, yeah, that's very cool, Nastron. So if that's your goal, especially if your goal is like concept design, right? And I'm assuming that that would also include like character design because you need concept art for like characters, then definitely this is like one of the first steps towards that because let me ask you, Nastron, can you draw your own original characters? Right? Like I think like that's definitely like one of the things that you need to know, right? If you want to get into concept design, a lot of it is going to be descriptions from your clients, right? So we used to do this. Again, I used to work in a gaming company. So we actually did like concept art as well for our clients. So they'd basically give us like descriptions as to how they want the characters to look. So you don't really, if at this point you can only just copy someone else's artwork, then you'd have to level up to being able to draw original characters. Yeah, so for Nastron, are you able to draw your own original characters? Can you draw them in different poses, right? Can you draw clothing? Can you draw clothing designs confidently, right? So I think like those are definitely skills you need as a concept designer. Yeah, so Nastron, let me know. I can draw heads to a degree. Okay, what about full body characters, Nastron? Can you draw full body characters? Can you design clothing? Can you draw full body characters in different angles? So that's also part of the character design phase. So Z said, is there a deadline to apply for the class? So Z, let me ask you then, like Z, is there something that's holding you back from sending your application in right now? Because if there is, please let me know, right? And let's see if it's something that I can help you with. Oh, more the Rose said, I don't have time right now. Do you upload this? Yes, yes. So we will keep this replay live, like for a while, for a couple of days, okay? So if you guys do not if you guys just join right now during like the Q&A session, so yeah, please watch the replay because it will be up, okay? So all right. It's gonna be up for a while. Don't worry, guys. Okay. All right. So, Mystic said, should I color my arts or should I stick to black and white? Okay. Mystic, let me ask you this. Like, what do you want to do? Right? I think like that's a very important question to ask because it depends on what goals you have, right? So what do you want to do with your art? And let's go from there. Okay, so Jaeger said clothing sucks. Yes, I know. That's why we actually also teach this in the course. I know it's very difficult to design clothes and to draw wrinkles and everything like that. Okay. So Nastron said, I can draw heads to a degree, but no, not full body characters. So, okay, so Nastron, if ever you can just draw heads to a degree, right? You cannot draw full body characters yet. And your goal is to get into concept design, then we do think that you might be a good fit for this, right? So, if you cannot draw original characters, like original full body characters in different poses, in different clothing designs, then I think like that's definitely the first step. All right. So for Mrs. Zenitsa's wife, they ask, do you focus on digital art also? Sorry. Okay. So for digital art, right, we don't focus on this, to be honest. You can use like your iPad or Photoshop or whatever digital drawing program, right? So like our student Maria, right? Like I actually showed her artworks earlier. She does use like digital art. So our concentration when we teach though is traditional art, right? We'll teach you how to use dip pens, we'll teach you how to use traditional mediums like alcohol markers. The thing is, the concepts and the theories are the same. Whatever we teach you in traditional art, you can definitely apply them in digital art. So we do have a lot of digital artists in our course. And, we also ask them, at the beginning, we would ask them, okay, like, why do you want to join, right? You're a digital artist. And they say that, yeah, like, they can apply traditional art concepts to their digital art. And they've actually found that their digital art did improve after taking our course. So again, the basics, your foundations are the same. So whether you do digital art or traditional art, right? Like you can apply them both ways. Okay. So for Mrs. Zenitsa's wife, I do want to ask you though, right? Like, do you have some kind of concern about, like us teaching traditionally using dip pens and Copic markers, right? Do you have any like concerns about doing traditional art? Okay, so Jessie said, finish the application. Let's go. Yes. Oh, that's so great to hear, Jessie. Okay, so Morder Rose said, what do you need to apply for? Okay, so Morder Rose, I know you kind of came in a little bit late. So I think like the rest of our viewers right now are actually applying to our anime and manga character drawing course. So if you're a little bit curious about like what this is, I do highly suggest that you watch the full replay of this video so you can understand what we're talking about. And you can also understand what you're signing yourself up for. All right, I don't want you to sign yourself up for something you don't know about. So again, I highly recommend that you watch the replay. Okay, so Mystic said manga, but I don't know. I've tried digital art, but my logo is the best I've got. Okay, so for Mystic, I would suggest that, if ever you're not sure about what you want to happen, I would highly suggest to think about it first. Again, like when we do hop on a call, we do ask you for your goals, right? We want to make sure that whatever we can provide is aligned with whatever you want to happen. But if you don't understand what you want to happen, we won't know how to help you, right? So I think like this is something that you want to explore for yourself, Mystic, right? Do you want to do manga? Do you want to do like concept art? Do you want to get into animation? Do you want to, because I think there are like multiple ways to go about it, honestly, right? So I think you want to think about this before hopping on the call. So Jaeger asks, will you continue streams like these? Great question, Jaeger. Yes. So we actually have a couple of live streams that we're planning out for you guys. We are going to interview a couple of our students live in the upcoming weeks. We're also going to have a session with one of our mentors, Steph Pastrano. So let me just look for, Steph's. Let me just see, let me show you his artworks. So guys, for those of you that are interested in joining us again, so we will actually have a live session with our mentor, Steph. Oops, sorry about that. This keeps popping up. Yeah, but we will have a live session with our mentor, Steph. I believe it's going to be on June 11th. we will announce like the final date soon. But in the next weeks, we are going to interview our students. They're gonna tell us about their experience, their tips and tricks, and of course, like our mentor Steph will also do a special session, and we will be taking in our viewers, our followers artwork to critique on. Okay, so that's gonna be exciting, right? So we're gonna announce this, guys, on our social media, so you guys can actually send in your artworks. We're gonna pick the best, like, I mean, it doesn't have to be the best, actually, guys. It's fine even if you're a beginner, even if you can only draw a head, like it's totally fine, right? So we're gonna be getting your artworks, right? You have to submit your artworks, and then we're gonna pick a couple of your artworks, and we're gonna critique it live with our mentor Steph Pastrano. So he's gonna teach you like how to improve your art, like and you can actually redo your artworks after and show us what happened after you got his feedback. Okay, so all right, guys, I think we have Zenitsu said no, I use paper, pencil, and Sharpie. So but digital art would have more free brushes and different tools. Okay, yeah, so I think Zenitsu, you said that you're currently using traditional art. Seems like it's not going to be a big problem. So yeah, if you feel like you're ready to get to the next level, take the next step, feel free to send in your application. Same for Nastron as well, right? So for Nastron, if your goal is to do concept art, I do think this is a great first step for you. Okay, so guys, I think we are running out of time. We only allotted, on like 90 minutes for this masterclass. I know we've kind of gone a little bit over that. So I think on our Facebook page, we don't have, I think like Dilek actually asked, it's not costing any money. So, okay, Dilek asked, about it's not costing any money. All right. So I'm assuming Dilek is asking whether this would cost money or not. So Dilek, for our paid program, right? It's paid. I think I just want to clarify that it's a paid program for you guys to be able to get, this amazing support from professional anime and manga artists. It would have to be a paid program. And from our experience, this is actually like the best way to go about it, because we can provide you with amazing service, right? Like if we have the right resources, we can bring in the right mentors, amazing mentors for you, and they can actually help you improve so much faster, right? So before, when we used to do we actually did used to do free stuff, but because we didn't have any resources, our students did not improve. They did not get the transformations that they want. And we were also struggling to get people, the right mentors to help our students. So, this has been much, much more successful. Okay. So, guys, Nastron said, my experience is I've been drawing for the past 5 years, and I don't know if anyone has heard of Shinosuke Uchida. I'm sorry, I am not familiar with Shinosuke Uchida. But okay, so Mystic said, what's your other social media? So guys, we are also on Facebook. So we've sent our Facebook page, right? We're also on Instagram and TikTok as well. Just search Learn to Draw Manga. So we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on TikTok. So follow us. You can also follow us here on YouTube. Feel free. Okay. So thank you so much, guys. I apologize. We're running out of time. So Mortar Rose asked, how much does it cost? Great question. So this is actually something that we discuss more after you've sent in your application and we've hopped on a call, Mortar, right? So we want to make sure first that you are a good fit. And once we see that we want to work with you, then we can explain more about our program. We can discuss your options, right? But again, the best way to know more about this is to actually hop on a call with us. So please feel free to send in your application. Again, I hope you can actually watch our replay first, so you also know what you're signing yourself up for. Okay. So guys, that is it for today's live. Again, thank you very much for joining us. We're going to have more lives in the upcoming week, so I hope you're excited for it, and I cannot wait to see you guys again. All right, so I hope you have a great rest of the day.